Would you entrust your life to someone who, the next day, would hand you over to your enemies? History is full of heroes, yes, but it's also populated by figures who, with a single choice, changed the course of wars, betrayed their ideals, their countries, and sometimes even their own friends. Today, you'll discover betrayals so impactful that the very name of the traitor became a synonym for disloyalty. Get ready for a journey that goes far beyond history books, because to understand betrayal is also to understand human nature. 1. Vidkun Quisling, the traitor of Norway. Norway, 1940. The Nazis invade the country, and while the Norwegians prepare to resist, a man, dressed as a patriot, opens the gates to the enemy. His name? Vidkun Quisling. Military officer, politician, intelligent, and deeply seduced by Hitler's fascism. Instead of fighting for his nation, Quisling offers himself as a puppet. He creates a pro-Nazi government, helps repress his own people, and collaborates in the deportation of Jews. The result? He became the universal symbol of betrayal. In English, French, Spanish, Quisling is still used today as a synonym for traitor. Here's a point to reflect on. Betrayal often doesn't come from weakness, but from a desperate desire for power and recognition. If you want to protect yourself from dangerous influences, study history. 2. Benedict Arnold, the traitor of the American Revolution. Imagine fighting for your country's independence, becoming a hero, and then selling it all out for a handful of pounds. Benedict Arnold was brilliant on the battlefield, but the recognition he craved never came. Bitter and in debt, he decided to switch sides. He tried to hand over West Point to the British. It didn't work, and he fled, forever disgraced. Today in the US, calling someone a Benedict Arnold is a powerful insult. What does this teach us? That unresolved resentment can be more dangerous than a declared enemy. Feeling trapped in comparison or ingratitude? Here's a practical tip. Every day, write down 3 things you're grateful for. It sounds simple, but it changes how you see the world, and it might keep you from making big decisions driven by wounded ego. 3. Judas Iscariot, the most famous betrayal in history. And how could we not talk about him? The most famous of them all. Judas, the man who traded his master for 30 pieces of silver. His story transcends religion. He's a universal symbol of betrayal and of deep remorse. Because in the end, Judas couldn't bear what he had done. A brutal lesson here. Sometimes the one who betrays also destroys themselves from within. And if you've ever been betrayed, remember this: the guilt is never yours, and those who sow pain will eventually reap silence. 4th, Mir Jafar, the traitor who opened the doors to colonialism, 18th century India. The Battle of Plassey would decide the fate of millions. General Mir Jafar was supposed to defend his ruler, but chose betrayal. He sided with the British, handed over the battle, and became a puppet of the colonizers. The result? India became a British colony for nearly 200 years. The betrayal of one man changed the fate of an entire civilization. Today, Jafar's name is an insult in several Indian dialects. The takeaway here: our individual choices have collective consequences. Whether at the ballot box, on social media, or in business, think long-term. Betrayal may seem like an advantage in the short term, but it builds invisible prisons for those who come after. 5. John Walker and Aldrich Ames, traitors of the Cold War. Now let's go behind the scenes of the Cold War. John Walker, Navy officer. Aldrich Ames, CIA agent. Both sold military secrets to the Soviets. Why? For money. But the damage went far beyond finances. Failed missions, dead agents, years of sabotage. Ames even revealed the identities of dozens of CIA agents who were then executed. They didn't just betray a country. They betrayed colleagues, families, and principles. So here's a practical tip. If you handle sensitive information, think twice before giving up your ethics. The price of betrayal is almost never worth the reward. Narration. Betrayal is like poison. Sometimes it acts instantly. Other times it takes decades to show its effects. But one thing is certain: traitors almost never escape history. So I ask you, what drives someone to betray their country, their friends, or their own values? Is it ambition, resentment, fear, ego? Leave a comment telling us which of these stories surprised you the most, or share a real betrayal you know of, from history or from your life. And if this video made you think, share it. Because the more people know history, the fewer chances we give it to repeat itself. Subscribe to the channel, because here we don't just tell stories to entertain, we tell them to open your eyes. Next episode, maybe espionage, conspiracies, or the greatest revenge stories in history. You decide.